up, everybody? Welcome back to Elisa Doing It My Way. I'm your girl, Elisa. I hope everybody's doing okay on this Friday evening. I know I'm happy. The weekend is here, y'all. So I decided I wanted to play. Well, it's not really a game. I wanted to do a little kind of get to know me, what I've done in the past, like all my jobs in the past, if I can remember them all. I'm going to share with you some of my least favorite and some of my best jobs that I've ever had. I thought about tagging different YouTubers in this video, trying to make it like a little challenge, but I don't want anyone to feel like obligated, like they have to play along. But if you're a YouTuber and you want to play along, then you can. Tell us all about what you used to do before YouTube or what you're currently doing still. I have my stuff written down, y'all, because it's a lot. Like, when I wrote it on paper, I'm like, golly, like, I really did all this stuff. So forgive me if I look down, a lot. I'm going to try to go in order. But, my memories I don't know, my years are sort of mixed up. So I'm going to try my best. But I'm going to name the jobs if I can remember them all. I have some written down, like I said, of the places that I worked, okay? So my first job ever, I think I got this job when I was like 15 years old, was Burger King. Yes, I worked at Burger King, and for me, it was sort of a no-brainer because y'all don't know this, but from a little girl, I was known for two things. One of those was eating cookies and walking around with my stuffed Cookie Monster. And the next one was for being a burger connoisseur, y'all. I was known as Wimpy. You remember Wimpy? I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a delicious hamburger today. When I tell y'all I love my burgers, and that's the reason why I can't eat too much beef now. Y'all, yeah, I get the gout when I eat too much red meat now, and that's because, like, burgers. I don't have burgers upside down, backwards, frontwards. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the jobs, my first job was Burger King, y'all. So that was sort of like a no-brainer. And I have a confession, y'all. Whenever I wasn't on cash register and I was in the back preparing food, I used to have me like a little box, like the breakfast boxes, the empty breakfast boxes. And y'all, when them Whoppers be coming down that conveyor belt or whatever, I would grab me a couple of Whoppers and put them in my little box and snack on them when I was working. Don't tell Burger King, y'all. So sometimes I would get the Whoppers and just eat them plain, just the meat, not the bread. Or I might sprinkle a little ketchup or something on there. Yeah, y'all. So that was job number one. Second job was White Castle. I worked in the first White Castle ever placed on Staten Island, New York. I grew up in New York, well, between New York and Jersey, but I was born and raised in New York, and we didn't have White Castles in Staten Island. We used to have to always go to Jersey to get White Castles. So when it came to New York, it was like a big thing. So I worked there. It wasn't too long, y'all, because it was just like the grand opening and things was hectic, things out of place, and that was just too much. But I worked there. I don't know if I was able to take any burgers there, because you know, like White Castle, even today is like everything is like out in the open, like out in front. So no. And plus you have like all these managers from different stores trying to make sure that store, you know, went up and running. So that was second job. Okay. Maybe I'll just go with all the fast food jobs I had first instead of trying to go on order. I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at Taco Bell in New Jersey for maybe about 2 years. I worked after school. I sort of liked that job. Like, I was a closer, and like they would have your girl on basically by herself. Like, that's how good I was able to take orders. Well, stuff, they used to call it stuff, and break down stuff for the next day, doing all that at the same time. So yeah, I worked at Taco Bell for a while. And I remember, y'all, this girl, I won't say no names, but one of my co-workers, child, was sleeping with one of the managers. And you talking about a young girl like the same age as me, like 17. She might have been even younger than me, like 16. Was sleeping with the manager, y'all. I think that he ended up getting divorced too. He was in love with this girl. I still remember their names. I remember, like, every time he went in the office, she would go in her pocket and spray on perfume. That's when exclamation, y'all remember the exclamation was out? She would spray it all up in here, whatever, whatever. But yeah, that's a story for another time. So Taco Bell. And then my last fast food job was Boston Market. And I worked at Boston Market. If I worked the whole shift, that's giving a lot. I don't think I worked the whole shift, y'all. That was just horrible. Like, the floors were all wet and greasy, and you sliding around the floors, like running in the back and front, trying to get people's orders together. No, that wasn't for me. So that was it with the fast food. All right, so I worked at a research company in high school, and this job was like banging because we got to make our own hours. So there wasn't like a requirement of hours. It's just that whenever you made that schedule the week before, you had to be there. I worked there with my cousin, and what we would do is call different people and take surveys. That job was fun. That job paid a lot too to be in high school. I think they started us off with like $11 or $12 an hour, and you talking about way back, like late 80s, whatever. So yeah, but y'all, I worked there with my cousin, and I'll never forget, like, you would have quality assurance listening to your calls, but you never knew when they were listening. And I think you got like bonuses on top of all the surveys that you completed. Y'all, my cousin called her boyfriend on the phone to do a survey with him. And just about when the call was up, they started arguing about something, girl. Needless to say, she was fired. So that was that. Then right after high school, I was a home health aide for a little while. I left New Jersey, went back to New York, was a home health aide for a few months, give or take. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't think I like that too tough. Like, because a lot of like going in people's homes to take care of them, and a lot of them thought or like called you the maid, considered you to be like the help, you know. So I didn't last too long there. My next job was probably the job that I've held the longest in my life. I want to say I was there about, it's got to be like 15 years. I stayed there. I won't really name the company, but I worked with the developmental disabled. I started off working in one of the group homes, one of the homes, and this is also in New York. And then I transitioned to the day program, and I like that job. I'm still friends with a lot of my co-workers there. In fact, my best friend still works there. So that was a good job. And the reason why I left that job, y'all, so the morning of the World Trade Center fiasco, if that's what you want to call it. I used to always take the train from New Jersey, take the train, the ferry into, you know, the trains into the World Trade Center and all of that. So the morning of the World Trade Center, I just happened to be off, and I was off by the skin of my teeth. My daughter was starting school, I want to say kindergarten, and I could not get the day off. Like, my vacation time was denied and everything like that. And it just so happens, like, that day before, one of my coworkers had to cancel her vacation, and that's how I was able to get off. So had it not been for that, I probably would have been in the basement of the World Trade Center around that time, probably coming up from the New Jersey path and going back down underground to get the train to the South Ferry. And I think about that all the time. I still remember faces that I used to ride with every morning. The PATH train going from New Jersey to New York. People that I never saw again. You know, wondering if they made it, if they were there that day. You know, and it's like I can see their faces clear as day, because you used to ride the train with these people like every day. So after that, my husband started driving me to work, because it was like impossible for me to get there. And just for us to leave from New Jersey to drive not even 20 minutes to Staten Island, New York, took like 2 hours or more. And that's when they were like holding people up at the bridge, checking the cars and everything like that. And like I said, sometimes I would be like 2-3 hours late. And you talking about doing that in the morning and in the afternoon. So eventually I ended up leaving there. Plus I was pregnant with my son at the time. So I ended up leaving United Cerebral Palsy. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Well, cat's out the bag now, but yeah, that's where I used to work. All right, so after that, I'm up here dropping stuff, y'all. After that, I think I went to school. Like I said, I was pregnant. Had my son. I think I went to school. Now, I've been in quite a few schools too throughout my careers. My first passion was nursing school. Like, I would start, stop, you know, allowing things, you know, to get in the way. So I'm not sure if that was the time I was in nursing school, or, yeah, I think that was the time I was in nursing school. Because then I ended up at Marshall's. I worked at Marshall's for a little bit with one of my friends. That's when I met my second husband. Like I said, I'm just giving y'all all the tea that's supposed to be for another time. I didn't meet him at Marshall's. Or I think I met him while I was working at Marshall's. But yeah, I worked at Marshall's for a little bit. After Marshall's, I worked at a phone company. IDT phone company. I worked there. I don't even know if they're still around, but I worked in the call center, helping people, you know, with any discrepancies on their bills and stuff like that. So I did that for a while, and we were laid off from there. That job was, it was okay. Then I went to school again. This time I went for a dental assistant. I became a registered dental assistant, y'all. And I ended up getting a job straight out of school at a endodontist office. When I tell you the money was about the most money that I've ever made, but just the dealing with that particular boss, like I know people that have suffered, like develop anxiety from being there, and that's like straight up no lie. It was just a horror. Like, I heard somewhere before that dentists have like a very high suicide rate. I don't know how true that is or not, but this cray. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Like I said, the money was good, got bonuses. I'm talking about big bonuses, like Christmas time, $1,000 straight up, not in addition to your check, but just the stuff that you had to put up with. No, thank you. So after the dental office, what did I do? Okay, after the dentist's office, I think I went back to nursing school, I want to say. And then that's when I developed that thyroid goiter that I showed y'all in one of my previous videos. If you haven't checked that video out, go look at the video, I'm Still Here, and you'll see what I mean. So for a little while, I didn't work. I stayed home dealing with that. After that job, oh, okay. I did. Your girl worked at Amazon. I worked at Amazon for like a week or two, y'all. The most. When I tell you, that job was not for me. Like, I would get home, and it was only like, I think 3 days or 4 days a week, 3 days off, something like that. Honey, when I would pull up to the house, my husband and son would have to come out and literally carry me from the truck to the door. That's how bad my legs and feet were hurting. So, I don't know. Y'all, I'll give it up for them Amazon workers, because they work hard, y'all. They work so hard. But I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So that was that. And my next job after that was working in a male prison, male maximum security prison. I worked there for about 3 years on the medical team in the infirmary. I dispensed medications, and it's so weird how I ended up with that job, because when I applied, I had no idea I was applying to work at a prison. Showed up, they told me to come in for the interview, And I think at that time, something was wrong with my paperwork. Like my printer stopped working. I couldn't bring in something that was, they said that you absolutely had to have when you came in for this interview. So I called them and explained, and the lady was like, well, are you sure? You know, maybe you should just come anyway. I came, y'all. Well, they was like, what made you decide to want to work at a prison? I'm looking at them, they looking at me. And I was like, I didn't know it was a prison. I had no idea. I was just like honest because I didn't know what to say. Y'all, a few weeks, I ended up getting a job a few weeks later in a male maximum security prison with over, I don't know, they have like 3,000 some inmates, but I really liked that job. I loved that job. Some of the staff was like, yeah, but at first, like, I was scared, y'all. I remember, like, my second day there was a fight, and this person is like training me on giving out this medication and stuff, and the bells, like sirens just went off, and I'm like panicking, I'm shaking, and I see like two dudes behind the bars, like, and they like, come on, come on. And they was calling me to run like for the door. Whoo, y'all. That scared the mess out of me. I didn't think I was gonna come back after that, but I did, and that actually turned out to be like just about the best job I've ever had. That's actually where I worked before I moved to Texas. That was my last job in New Jersey, was a prison. And you get to know a lot of people and a lot of things, and you don't think about it when you're not on that side, but a lot of people in there don't deserve to be there. They really don't, you know. And I'm talking about, I mean, not everybody, some people do. I've worked with killers, rapists, drug dealers, and people that have like years. This wasn't no county jail. This was a prison, you know, where they doing their hard time at. So, you know, yeah, that was like, I liked that job. So when I moved to Texas, I worked at a psychiatric hospital for a little bit. I didn't really like that job. I didn't really care too much for the people. It was like cliquish, you know, and I'm like, people are adults and they still like running cliques, you know, showing favoritism and stuff, or like, the old workers, like, they supposed to be training you, but they not really training you. They don't want to show you. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those things. And it's like, it was just uncomfortable. Plus, that was like my first time working nights on the night shift. I think I was there from like, I don't know. It was just overnight. Damn 12-hour shifts. That wasn't for me. So I wasn't there too long. And then I got the job that I'm at right now. And y'all already know how I feel about it. Y'all already know how I feel about that. So I won't say no more about that. But yeah. So that's just a little bit about me, y'all, and you know, what your girl did throughout her life, you know. Oh, yeah, and I think I did go back to school when I came to Texas also, too. I forgot, but it's like nursing school again. But it's like, I don't know, y'all. Like, at this age, I think it just wore off. And I'm like, who am I kidding? Like, I don't think I really have the energy to like run up and down in nobody's hospital or nothing, you know, like that. So I don't know. I don't know. It bothers me because I didn't finish it. So it's still something that I may do. It's something that I may do, but probably not here in Texas. You know, if I move back home, that's another thing, like switching those schools. Like one school has this program, the next school has this program, and by the time you realize it, you taking like so many classes like you don't need. So that was on me. But anyway, like I said, that's a little bit about me and the jobs that I had. So if any of you want to play along, any of you YouTubers, like I said, I won't tag you because I don't want you to feel like obligated. And I do have some in mind that I'm a little interested in what they, you know, the jobs and stuff they held down. But if you want to participate, please do so. I would appreciate that. So yeah, this is my own little challenge. So if you do, make sure you mention Elisa Doing It My Way. Just don't put it up like it's your own thoughts now. All right, help a sister out. Help a little channel out. All right, but that's it, you guys. I've held you long enough. Thank you for stopping by Elisa Doing It My Way. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye.